Hey folks, JD here, and today on my new unboxing table we are going to be opening this. After many weeks of waiting, we have the Xiaomi Fimi X8 SE. Well, that's a bit of a mouthful. Alright then friends, come with me as we open this and from the unboxing video go directly into the flight test. Okay, so let's flip this round, open this up again. You can't fault the presentation. As soon as you open it, quadcopter to the left, transmitter, all the bump then on top there. So let's take out the transmitter. Obviously looking completely different from what we've been used to with the other Xiaomi models. We'll get to that in a little while. We have the quadcopter. Oh, that's quite a weighty little bird. Then we have the accessories, cables, and everything else that comes with it as well. So let's move all this down to here. Then what I'm going to do is just pop that there. Right then, let's have a look first of all at this quad. Well, there she is in all of her glory, and it's quite a weighty little bird, this one. Let's just take off this, there we go, one-handed, probably not the best approach, but still feels nice, looks lovely. Look at that styling, the front, the side, the top, the back, underneath as well. Just looks really nice. Looks quite professional. Feels really incredibly heavy, as I've alluded to quite a few times. Now that's a lovely action on the arms as well as you open the arms. A definite click there as the arms pull out. And that is what the quadcopter looks like, fully assembled, or fully, should I say, the propeller arms fully pulled out. Obviously we still have the propellers to go on it, but that is what she looks like. Large, very large, brushless motors, excellent. Okay, let's dive into her and have a little look and see what she's got. So let's start off with the front. At the front you can see there's a 3-axis gimbal. On this gimbal is a camera. Now I'm going to just turn this. It's not advised that you do this unless the quadcopter is turned on. I'm just going to do it just so you can see the lens there. Now this particular camera, they're purporting to be able to record 4K at 30 frames a second, 24 frames a second and 25 frames a second as well. Now quite honestly, 4K sounds fantastic, but I'd be quite happy with just true 1080. Now I'm hoping we are going to be getting some true 4K out of this, and if not, some true 1080 most definitely. Nice placement for the camera, especially a nice bit of movement around for the outside here as well. It doesn't feel crammed, there's plenty of space. Feels really quite nice. As I said, 3-axis gimbal, multiple modes, so many different modes to go into. The top resolution you can expect from this camera will be 3820 by 2160, and that's at 30 frames a second. But as I also said, it can also do 25 and 24, what it's reported to. From this particular video you can expect to use a very fast SD card. Now the cards I'm going to be using, like all the cards on all the channel I use, are all class 10s. This is no different. This has a minimum specification of 8GB and a maximum capacity of 64GB that it can take, and of course we've mentioned the 4K quality. Now then, let's move on to the body itself. So as you can see, beautifully rounded dome, fantastic looking head at the front here, and then moving back it tapers in just as it then makes its way to the battery. Now this battery is much larger than their previous model. Let's just take this out. I'm just going to balance that there for a second. Now this particular battery is a 4500 milliamp hour battery, which gives you up to 33 minutes of battery life. Now that is caveated, and the caveat for that is that it's 33 minutes at 8 meters per second maximum speed. And that's at a constant speed as well. So going no faster than 8 meters per second at a constant speed with no wind, you can achieve 33 minutes. Now I quite like the fact that they've added in those extra factors. Normally a lot of companies say 20 minutes and that's it. And actually in the real world test you're getting 10, maybe 15, no more. Now another thing I like about this as well, it feels very nice quality. You have your pins at the bottom here, this way you'll connect them directly to your quadcopter. That in itself just feels really nice. So there we go. That's the battery. Click and it'll show you the battery current capacity rather. God, my mind went blank then. Click and hold, and then you can turn the quadcopter on, obviously if the battery is plugged in. And then to put it back in, just click her in, and it's as easy as that. Working towards the back, we have the Fimi logo. Then again, we have the back of the quadcopter. And then to the underside, then we have the underside with the optical flow sensor and the ultrasonic sensor under there as well. We can see that we have these nice little landing sprigs. We have 4 to the body, and then 2 then to the front propeller arms, 1 on the left, and then, as you can just see in frame, 1 on the right there as well. That feels quite nice, looks quite nice. Everything about this just feels good quality. The plastic is nice and thick, but not too thick, so it becomes unsightly and too heavy. But as we are talking a lot about this weight, let's just weigh this one. I can tell you for nothing, folks, I'm sure you've seen umpteen videos on this already. This is going to be one for the registration. So there we go. Flying weight of this without propellers is going to be 754 grams. With propellers, you can add a couple of extra grams on there. Not too much, but still, you're looking at over the 250 gram minimum. So you are going to have to register this. Now then, onto these motors. Brushless motors, all 4 of them. Look quite nice, feel quite nice. Metal capped. You can just see the electromagnets inside there. And you can see also you have your thread here. Black thread. Oh no, is that spring? Sorry, hang on. Yeah, spring, there we go. So that is exactly where your propellers fit into, and then lock into the central place then into here, like so many other propellers do. That give it a nice tight fit, so you won't have any issues there. Now the one thing to point out, as you saw at the beginning, you have a little bit of foam here which just covers the camera. There's no particular camera mount for this. You can 3D print one should you have a 3D printer. If not, I would say definitely be careful when you take this quadcopter out, quite simply because you don't want to damage that camera. You don't want to damage the axis gimbal, and you don't want to damage the camera. So a couple of other things about this. Charging time for this particular quadcopter is 3 to 5 hours. That is running a 4500 milliamp hour 3.7 volt battery, as we looked at. Max speed of this quadcopter is 18 meters per second. Max descending speed is 4 meters per second. Also, max control distance is 5,000 meters. But again, they haven't caveated that. I'm going to say that it's going to be a lot lower than that, to be perfectly honest with you, by the time you add in environmental factors, other frequencies, and a lot of other things that get in the way of radio transmission. Then, of course, we come on to the transmitter, which is here. Now, unlike the other model, this transmitter does mean that you have to put your phone or your tablet in there in order to use it. I like that model. That model works well for me, and I don't have a problem in using that. On the side here, you have your left and your right analog thumbsticks. So once again, with this one, it's very, very simple. As he says, trying to do it through a camera. Let me see. So it is threaded, so just start off and then wind them on, same as you would with DJI, and then just lock them in place just by continuing to turn them and giving a final turn. Those resolution on the sticks feels really quite nice, nicely weighted, not too heavy. Feels really quite good. And there is the full width of the transmitter, so you can have a little tablet in there like an iPad mini, as well as your smartphone. It'll fit my iPhone 10, no problem at all. You have your on and off button just here. Click once to turn on, and again click once and hold then to turn off, and it should turn off. And then once you've turned it off, there we go. Double click the turn off. Have I turned you off, or have I not turned you off? Let's just click and hold you. Good old fashioned. If in doubt, hold your finger down on the power button. If not, we'll leave you on and continue to flash. That's not a problem. Come on. There we are, click and hold again, and then it turns itself off. Fantastic. So then we have our return to home button here, return to home or standard quadcopter mode. And then, of course, we have our transmitter here, just for your space here, just for your smartphone. You have your little menu selector here, your little mouse almost, and then you have your auto takeoff, auto landing button. On the shoulders, you have your 2 wheels, one for speed, one for the camera. I'm guessing, the reason I'm guessing that is because I couldn't find it in the manual. But I will double check it by the time we take it out on a flight. And then, of course, at the bottom, same as the other one, you get your charging port as well as your discharge port, which is pretty good. So let's just cover that back up. This is always a bit fiddly, that is. And then, of course, you have your antenna at the top. This antenna does contain an actual antenna. I should think so for the money of this. And then at the back, you have your 2 buttons at the back here. One here and then one on the other side there as well. That's quite nice. You have a purpose-built handhold at the back there as well to hold your transmitter. Feels quite nice. Not too heavy. with this transmitter, you get a 3900 milliamp hour battery, 3.7 volts. It takes quite a few hours to charge it, so get this charger at the same time as you charge your battery of your quadcopter. It's good to note as well not to leave either of them charging on their own. So there's those two for you there. As well as you get a few other things. You get your charging cable for your battery there, and your little charging mount there for where the battery clips into. You get a 2-pin plug. That's an American plug. It certainly is not a UK plug. I'm going to say it's American, might not be. And then you have your 3 cables here for your 3 different types of phone. Your lightning cable, your micro USB, and your USB-C there as well. You have got to use this when you plug your phone into the transmitter, so make sure you take them with you. No cable, no fly. And then of course you have, let me see, your propellers inside here. So there we go, you have the propellers, just see them inside there. So I'm going to put them on just before I take them for a flight. So I'm going to put them on there just to ensure I don't forget them. It's going to be nothing more annoying than getting out to the field, figuring out I haven't included the propellers. Alright friends, well I tell you what, that was quite a quick little run through and unboxing. I'm going to put the propellers on now, and I tell you what, you're next going to join me on the flight. Alright then folks, I've been out here for a couple of minutes because it has started to rain, but I'm hoping it's just going to blow over. I'm hoping it's this bit here which is just blowing over my head. Right, anyway, I'll crack on. All I've done for the second is I've opened out the propeller arms, I've put my phone in, I've attached it via the cable. That's literally everything I've done. So I'm going to click once and then click and hold to turn on the quad. I'm going to do the same on the transmitter. Click once, then click and hold. Make sure that your little switch is over to the quadcopter symbol. There we are, phone is now active. Now when everything binds up, it is auto bind, but once everything binds up and once everything works, going to give it a little while. Once this all flashing stops and these colours turn from red, then we should be good to crack on then. So I'm just gonna, there we go, no, don't want that, there we go. So there we are, we've got white lights on the on button and on the auto takeoff and auto land button. So I'm going to just open up the app. It might take a little bit of time. I'm not going to upload the new firmware yet, not for the second. I'm just going to leave it be. So it's ready to go, GPS is on, battery's 98%. So satellites are 15, it is automatically calibrating, so I'm just going to leave that be for the second. It is talking about interference, gimbal possibly being stuck by obstacle. Yeah, it's my mat. There we are, that's what it's talking about, not interference. So I'm just going to push that down there so it's not pushing in the way of the gimbal. Is there anything else I've forgotten to remove from the gimbal? No. The gimbal is free moving. Okay, good, so I'll leave it at that. System is preparing. It's just getting more satellites, 15 satellites. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time just to do that. It normally takes a little while longer. I'm just going to walk around a little bit, just wait for that whole system just to turn itself on and just to sort itself out. Then we should be good. What I'm going to do for the second though is I am going to go through and I'm going to just check some of these settings just to ensure. So limited flight speed 10 meters a second, limited flight distance 1,000 meters, that's fine. Limited flight height 120 meters, that's fine. Return to home height 30 meters, again that's absolutely fine. Beginner mode is off, sport mode is off, precise landing is off, magnetic interference is extremely low, compass calibration, so let's calibrate the compass. So let's click start and here we go. So usual, let's spin it round, keeping one eye on that picture because I'm hoping that picture's going to change. Now this is when I usually find that I've been spinning it the wrong way. No. Is it camera up? Yes, camera up. So then twist it then with camera up, and then once you've done that it should be all calibrated. Yeah, there we go, successful compass calibration succeeded. So okay, done, lovely. So that's done. So I'm going to give that a couple of extra seconds just to sort itself out. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, hopefully, maybe not, I'm hoping, yes, there we go, record my screen. Can you tell it's a new phone? Right, okay, perfect. So there we go, ready to go, GPS, 15 satellites. Do you know what, I'm going to take her up. Obstacle avoidance interference. Oh yeah, okay. So I've got this little bit here which is flapping around. That then is hitting the obstacle avoidance at the front and telling it can't fly. So hopefully, let's see. No excessive vibration detected. Yes, it's because you're on a mat. That's exactly why. Do you know what? I'm going to pull this a little bit more taut. There we go. Let's try it again. And up we go. A bit of a jump start, but still, there we are. So we got 15 satellites. GPS is all calibrated. It's getting battered about the wind a little bit. I'm just going to increase its height because quite literally I am very low there. Let's alter the gimbal as well. So the gimbal is on the left hand side, the left hand shoulder. I'll give it a bit more height. Now the wind that we've got here today shouldn't be that much of an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a couple of pictures as I'm using the back right button at the back here just to take a couple of photos. Which isn't too bad. Let's start the video from let's start the video recording. Video is recording, my friends. Let's take her out. Off we go. A little bit of positive pitch and she's out. And oh, it's been so long since I've flown. This is really quite a treat. It feels really quite nice to actually be up in the air and actually flying. The weather around here has been absolutely awful for the past couple of weeks. And well, actually it's been about a month and a half. The only dry nice days we've had have been when I'm in work. Sod's law, isn't it? So come the weekend then it's just rain and high winds. But so far I'm hardly touching these controls, and the quadcopter is just staggeringly responsive. Really staggeringly responsive. I thought this was going to be another Fimi A3 just in a heavier body, but this really does seem to be really quite nice. So what I'm going to do for a second, I'm going to try a few things. Right, that's me stopping. I'm going to switch over to return to home mode, and let's see exactly how it does. All it is quite literally flicking that little switch over to the home and then watching it come back. So it's up at 30 meters. It's now going to come over to me. Oh, that seagull's taking a liking to it. Get off, mate. You're going to end up being in a world of hurt. So I'm going to keep my eye on that seagull because if necessary I can take it out and return to home and I can land it myself. It's not that much of a big deal. And to be honest, I think I'd probably prefer to do something like that rather than injure a bird. Right, so it's not turning around, it is just descending. Oh, those motors sound angry. You really hear the wind buffeting them. This time I have moved my bag, rather than me having to run in halfway and move it. Oh, it's about standard, isn't it, really? She is a big quad, you don't realise. And a bit of grass cutting and motors turned off. And that's it, we're down. There we go. Fair play. That wasn't too bad. So she landed here. So you went 1.5 foot. So again, that's not too bad at all. I'm really quite happy with that. Okay, so let's take her off again. So let's get her up. Let's get some video. Let's climb. Let's get some video recording. Oh, that's the photo. Oh, there's a lot of jello I'm noticing there on the low altitudes. As soon as you then start to increase in altitude, and there's a little bit of jittering from the gimbal too. Okay, let's take her out. Let's have a little look and see. I'm sure with a firmware update there's going to be no end of changes, and probably this jittering that I'm noticing with the camera is probably going to be one of those things that is removed. You can see there, look at that, look at the river. You can see exactly how much rain we've had recently. That river is almost at its bank. But it's still, what am I at? 214 meters, and it's still extremely responsive. That is fantastic. Okay, let's see if, oh, I'm losing a little bit of FPV there. I literally have no FPV. Oh, I do, it's back. Let's increase height slightly, so let's take it up to 38 meters. It's kind of wavering, it's kind of in and out. I can hear it, I can still see it, which is fine. I'm just noticing that I've literally lost quite a lot. If I just give her a little bit of yaw, I'm not using any roll in this. Oh, there we go. She seems to be back, which is good. Let's push her forward and let's see how far we go. So one of the things I'm enjoying about this is the resolution on the sticks. It's really, really, really light. I haven't got to make any sort of hard movements, any harsh movements, and that's it. She is just turning without there being any issue whatsoever. Flying seems to be an absolute dream. And I'm noticing as well, one thing I thought in the unboxing I thought would be a bit of an issue is I thought that we would have issue, or at least I'd have issue with the transmitter being quite heavy. It reminded me a little bit of the days of the Parrot Bebop with and I always liked that about the Sky controller, is the fact that you could have a tablet or you could have your phone or whatever, whereas with this I'm really enjoying the fact that yes, you can have a tablet or yes, you can have a phone, but also you've got full control, and the transmitter isn't heavy, which again is lovely. Wow, look how far I've walked. You can see me in the field. If I just stop the quadcopter there, I'm that tiny little dot. Let me walk back to where I was. There we go. And there the quadcopter is right there, just hovering in the air quite nicely up at 41 meters. No problem whatsoever there. So I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to go back round in a second. I'm just getting used to it and getting used to its little foibles. One of them being, whoa, what was that? What was that? Beep, 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 beep. Oh, card is, oh, has it stopped recording? My card, SD card full. Oh, that is an absolute, really, John? You managed to do that? Fair play. I've done better things, so let's see if I can. I can't record anymore. Okay, well, I got quite a lot, to be fair, and I am recording my screen. Let me just still see if I am doing that. Yeah, I am still doing that. So, okay, fine. We're just going to have to put up with the recorded screen, folks. Unfortunately, with all the telemetry information. Oh, that is a shame. At least we've got a little bit of video anyway, of full 4K. Now, the rest of it now is just going to have to be... it's just gonna have to be all screen recorded. But yeah, I'm really enjoying just flying this about. It is so light to fly. It really does feel very, very nice. I'm sure after this little firmware update I have got, that the app told me about when I was on the field here, that it'll get rid of a couple of issues. So I'm not too concerned. I'm not gonna hold them too negatively. I'm not gonna turn around and say, oh my god, the camera and the gimbal are jumping, I can't be bothered with this. You know, it's a very nice thing. It is a very easy thing to fly. My god, is it so easy to fly? That's the thing, these are getting so easy to fly. It does make me wonder a bit about the quadcopter hobby. I do quite enjoy the more difficult ones as well, but still, now and again, having these really nice ones to fly, it is just absolutely beautiful. Now, this video that you're looking at, I haven't altered any of the colour, no colour correction, there's no ISO movement. I'm just using the standard settings that the quadcopter came with. Here I come again, back over. Absolutely wonderful. And those LEDs, my god, they're bright. So bright. Absolutely insanely bright. And do you know what I'm going to do? Let's flip it around. Oh wow, she turns on a sixpence. Absolutely, that turning was so tight. Fair play. Right, okay, let's bring her forward. We've seen return to home. That's worked quite nicely. Oh, look how smooth that is. Beautiful. Right, okay, I want to check out sports mode, because I've got a limit for the second of 10 meters per second. And even though that's not slow, not by any margin, I would quite like to give sport mode a go. In sports mode, the maximum flight speed is 18 meters a second. Gain and exposure sensitivity improves greatly. Exclude intelligent flight. Please use with caution. VPU is invalid in sports mode. So if you are using sports mode, having those that collision avoidance system in the front, it's now disabled. So if you crash, oh wow, that spins quick. Dear God, that thing just, look at that. Wow. Right, okay. So where are we? Let's bring her back. Whoa, wrong way, John, wrong way. Let's bring her back. Okay, so I'm back at 2.3 meters, which is basically directly above me. And I'm going to see how long it takes for me to get into that clearing in front. So off we go. So I'm at 26 meters, 38, 42, 57, 60, 71, 125, 130, 140, 168, 185, 190, cleared the clearing. 230 meters, increase in altitude at the same time. Now I'm at, if I stop there, I'm at 339 meters it took. And it took me a few seconds to get there in sports mode. It did not take me that long. I'm reckoning it took me 10 seconds to get there. I was counting in my head and I got to just before 10, so like nine and a half seconds. So I'm going to fly out quite nicely back, but my God, that didn't half drain my battery. Went from 70% down to 58. But what a beautiful, beautiful sight. Even on today's grey, awful grey day and a biting wind and my hands are freezing. Looking at this lovely sight around here, it is lovely. Really, really, really lovely. So, there we go. I can hear her. I can see her. She ain't half shifting. She really is shifting. Right, okay, let's turn her back around to me. And let's just increase that speed. Here she comes. Wow, this thing is quick, but that battery doesn't half go down in sports mode. Exactly as thought. This isn't anything new that I wasn't prepared for. Wow, that positive pitch as well. She really is at a hell of a degree. Oh, it's a good bit of fun, that is. There she is. Oh, that's excellent. I'm going to take her out of sport mode now before I do some damage. So let's take that out of sports mode. Fantastic. So that's good. So return to home is great. We've seen return to home. We've seen the camera. We've seen the gimbal. We've seen all the movements there. We've seen the video. We've seen the photos. We've seen a bit of distance, over 300 meters. We've actually seen a hell of a lot with this camera already, with this quadcopter, which isn't too bad at all. I'm not going to use smart track or anything like that. Or am I? Or am I? I might use smart track. Let's see. Let's see if I can work out this this quite complicated app, and let's see how we go. So where are we? So everything that's there. So it's showing over the 3 cells. Nice voltage over the 3. It's showing everything. Okay, that's all my settings done for. What's that? So smart track. It's in beta. Do you know what though? Should be fine. Trace profile lock. So let's try trace. Drag a rectangle around the subject. Oh, hang on, I gotta get in the frame. Yeah, there we go. Hey, there I am. Let's drag that over there. Okay, that's a huge box. So she said. So let's walk. How are you doing, little fella? Ah, straight away. No dithering, no dawdling. Damn, this thing is good. Just hooks on, and that's it. Oh, change direction suddenly. Not a problem. Quad comes with me. Change it again. Go this way. Oh no, not going that way. I'm going to go this way. No problem. There we go. Still in frame. Brilliant. This thing is very, 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 very good. And for the second, it's just turning. So let's go for a bit of a walk down here. And you know what? I'm not walking slow. I'm walking pretty quick. Normally with a lot of these other quads, I have to limit my speed or try and find out by looking at the quad Oh, I think I've dropped out of the box. No, it's still got me. It's still got me, even though it's lost my head, but it's still got the rest of me, and there's enough of me there, so that's okay. There we go. Yeah, that's, you know, that is what it is, folks. That is just working wonderfully, wonderfully well. So I'm going to go back inside the box. I'm going to stop that. So that is excellent. Okay, so that's one thing. Waypoints. Let's try. Am I going to try waypoints? I don't know, because I'm a bit worried about this weather. Let's turn you around. God, these, do you know what? These LEDs are just absolutely phenomenal. Good cluster of LEDs in there. Right, so, do you know what? Let's try a little bit of waypoints and let's see exactly how we go. So waypoints, beeline map. Okay, so the map comes up. Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Do you know what? I'm just gonna try it without. 1. Waypoint's distance should be more than 10 meters. All right. Says drag to set point of interest. I can't drag. Do you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that again on a separate day. I'm looking at my battery life and I don't want the battery to be going and destroying halfway through the waypoints. I'll come back to that, folks. I will come back to that. You have my word on that. Orbit. Orbit is, again, so simple. It quite literally is. If I give her a bit of height with this one. So orbit quite literally is point of interest. Orbit around a central place. If it's a ruins of a castle, or if it's a very interesting twig or something, then you can orbit around that to your heart's content. I'm going to move her a little bit because she's a bit close to the trees there. I'm going to alter that camera a little bit. Setting center, radius. Please fly away. Please fly away. The center point to set radius. All right. So what does it want me to? Does he want me to do that? So this is me controlling it for the second. This is not orbit. This is me very much controlling it. So does it want me to create an orbit and then it'll fly the orbit that I've just created? Because if... God, there's a load of dogs coming down here. My God. If they come my way, I'm going to have to stop this, folks. You know, the whole 150 meters thing. Right, okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I've kind of done that. Radius should be over 5 meters. Radius should be, please fly it to a proper distance before setting. So it needs my radius. There we go. Radius 17 meters. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done that now. It's not letting me fly any further forward, is it? Yes, it is. I could have sworn for all the world that it had stopped me flying. Radius 24 meters. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. It's me controlling it again. Do you know what? I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time... Oh, falling in a ditch. I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time going over orbit and going over some of these settings, because this one, for the second, an orbit is ridiculously easy, but this one is not making a blind bit of sense to me, the way that it wants to. Please fly away the center point to set radius. So if I fly the center point, is that what it means? So I'm looking at the map. Should be over 5 meters. So should I bring it back? So if I do a radius of, bring it in 6 meters, which is over 5, setting radius. Right, there we go. Well done, John, you absolute nut. Right, okay, there we go. So that's done. And then, okay, it works. Oh, battery is 30%. So it works slightly differently, this one, to how I've seen orbit work or to how I've used other quadcopters work. This is probably the more professional way to work it, in so much that the quadcopter itself doesn't... Oh, doesn't pitch to the left, doesn't pitch to the right, but it stays nice and flat. There we go. Just to show you, I'm trying to stay so you can see the orbit working. You can slow the speed down by moving that little slider there. Sorry, I'm trying to watch where I'm walking because I'm falling in ditches here. And by moving the slider, obviously you alter the speed, but the quadcopter stays nice and flat, which is nice, rather than it being pitched at an angle and that gimbal having to counteract and work even harder. So that's actually pretty good. I like that. I like the way that actually works. I think that is pretty neat. I think that is pretty neat. There we go. Okay, that's not too bad. It serves a purpose. I'm sure somebody out there will find that completely helpful. Right, 26%. I'm going to bring her down, folks. And I'm going to land her, which is a shame because the weather has just started clearing up. There we go. Well, what can I say? That was lovely. But I'm not going to give you too much information now on my full verdict. I'm going to go back, I'm going to look at all the telemetry information, I'm going to look at all the videos and everything, and then I'm going to make up my mind, and you'll find out later on in the week. All links in this description are going to be for, as usual, are going to be for this particular flight, for this particular quadcopter. So if you want to find out more, just have a look in the link in the description, and it'll take you to everywhere that you need to go for this particular quad. All right then, my friends, let's just stop that screen recording. So I've definitely got it. There we are. That was lovely. Wow, that was really lovely. Well, my friends, what do you think? I think I'm sold, but I'll tell you more later on. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, my friends. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.